Hi. So, for a journalist, it is also very critical to understand the composition of the news industry. So, for a beginner, the word media may appear as one big animal, but if you look closer, there are very clear different verticals to where the under which the media operates, and it's very important for a journalist to understand how the whole industry works. It's just not about the writing and your skills and talent. You also need to have some acumen about the shape of the industry. So I'll very briefly touch upon how the media in general is positioned. So we all know that there are newspapers, the big legacy newspapers that operates nationally, and there are several hundreds of other newspapers that which operates regionally in different states. So the big national newspapers like Hindustan Times, Times of India, the Indian Express, Hindu, and you have the New Indian Express in South, the Pioneer, the Observer. These are all the Tribune. These are all big old newspapers, which are primarily gather news and puts it in print and distribute to the readers. This is the good old way of journalism. But then you also have television channels. This is TV is a big part of the industry. There are hundreds of channels in all sort of languages. So you have the newspaper, the television channels, and the third big vertical is the digital media. This is relatively new. The digital media, this started, I think it's in early 2000s, or in that decade, 2000 to 2010. We have very established, very well-run digital portals uh, in all verticals, politics, business, and general news, lifestyle, etc. Also, you have magazines, which publishes maybe once in a fortnight or in monthly. Apart from these, there are tabloids, there are dailies that operate only locally, evening dailies, etc. So, as a journalism aspirant, I think you should be targeting, one of these key verticals where you want to work. So the digital media vertical is what that grows very rapidly these days. Even the established newspapers and television channels have their own digital properties, because that's where the future is. Digital media is the future because everyone wants to read, get news on the go, and with smartphone penetration so high in India, it's easier to get those news articles on their mobile phones. So digital media publications offer a great opportunity for people like new journalists who are just starting out, and magazines are deeper, and long format stories. If you are somebody who wants to get into long form writing, and doesn't want to get into the this daily tussle of newsrooms, then probably you can look at magazines. Newspapers are the traditional way of journalism. That is also is a mix of long form pieces and daily uh, news reporting. That is there. Now, the other key vertical is that. Sorry, there was a truck passing by. Yeah, so I was saying the other key vertical in media is news wire agencies. So I'm sure many of you would have heard about Press Trust of India. The Press Trust of India (PTI) is the biggest news agency in India. Then you have other news agencies like UNI, United News of India. Then there are global news agencies operating everywhere in India as well. These are Reuters, Bloomberg, Dow Jones, etc. And these newswire agencies, what do? They collect news and they distribute it to their subscribers. So they don't run media organizations like in the traditional sense. They don't have publications. So what they do, they have websites, etc. But mainly their revenue come from distributing news to news organizations across streams, digital, print, television, magazines, etc. So this is how the media industry is positioned. I hope you got a overview of the industry. I'll quickly summarize again, for you to understand. So we have newspapers, we have television channels, we have digital publications, we have magazines, and we have news wire agencies. All of these offer job opportunities for new journalists. These are all great places to start, but each place has its own different characteristics, a different way of doing journalism that all of us must understand before we apply to these organizations. uh, I think for a beginner, it makes immense sense to start with a digital publications because it's easier to get a job and get your training on the field before trying your hand at established organization where the ask will be much higher in terms of experience and in terms of your ability to churn out quality news copies from day one. I'll come back with another video explaining what are the different verticals in business journalism. Business journalism is is divided into several different verticals. I'll give a brief overview in the next video. Thank you and wish you all the best.